I don't know what it was.
The Dark Kid.
Sometimes I sleep in a little bit longer.
Hello, everyone.
For like 6:45 or 7.
Just put paint on it. We are live, and this is your every Friday show where we sit, we chat, we hang out with amazing guests from all over the hobby community. And I'm Skari, your grateful host. I sound very tired because I scheduled this and I got up really early. Yes, and I was very prepared. Sorry, everybody. Much love. I literally woke up.
Sorry if we said something.
I woke up and it was like 10 to 12 and I was like, what the hell just happened? I was like, what just happened? And then I noticed I turned my alarm clock off. And so I literally just slept.
You know, if you had a dog, you'd never sleep in till noon ever again.
Yeah, my cats just sleep right next to me. They don't like wake me up or anything. They just like chill out and purr, and you know they're just like the bestest little kitties, and that's how that works. Anyway, I'm Skari. I'm painting. Well, I'm not painting anything today. I'm fixing one of the things I need. You know what? This light might actually work. I'm fixing a Drazar. I'm putting him on a 28mm base. So I'm going to be using him as my sergeant for one of my Incubi squads today for a tournament this weekend. So that's what I'm doing. But we have wonderful guests today. Nicole from SparkhammerMinis. Hello. How are you?
Hello.
And of course,
Doing good.
Awesome. That's great. You survived a hurricane or a tropical storm down in Florida. You're able to make it on today. Amazing. Looking forward to chatting with you. And of course, Tanya Gates, the War Mistress, the Vancouver resident extraordinaire.
Yep.
I know. I love how it's taken 4 years or 3 years, and now you just don't even fight it. You're just like, yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Snow and it's -8, and definitely living in Vancouver.
Yeah, right next to the ocean, where it's always nice, and you know the temperature is wonderful. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, Tanya, where folks can find you, and what you're working on, real quick.
Okay. Well, I actually live in the Okanagan Valley. I know, shocker. But I guess I'm a content creator, I guess. Anyway, you can find me on Forged Narrative Podcast, Instagram, my own YouTube channel. And I am on the assembly line today. I'm finishing up my 20 night haunt that I finished, that I started months ago before PlayOn asked me to play orcs a couple times. So, yeah, finishing those up.
Nice.
They're getting there.
It's always really nice when you get to work on a project like that, and you're like, I'm gonna get to play these. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna blow some stuff up. That's great. Yeah. Okay, well, reintroducing Nicole from SparkhammerMinis, who is a Instagram content creator influencer, and not only do you do a bunch of hobby stuff, you do a whole bunch of health and wellness and goals and self-growth and things with your other Instagram channels and stuff. So why don't you tell everybody at home who you are and what you do and where people can find you, and if you're working on anything today, what are you working on?
Yeah, I got a lot of things. So, hey everyone, my name is Nikki. I'm from SparkhammerMinis. I am half of a couple duo of hobby enthusiasts that just fell in love with Warhammer, and I just love painting these little dudes and stuff. So, if anything, my personal page is nikki.inspires, and that's basically my health and fitness journey. Like about 3.5 years ago, I was like overweight, depressed, in a very dark place and surrounded by a lot of bad habits. And then I got to my rock bottom, and I'm like, you know what? If I get a chance, one more chance at this, let me really put a lot of effort in getting my life together. And I end up losing 50 pounds. I ended up cutting all those bad habits, even a cigarette habit that like I was smoking like 2 packs of cigarettes a week, and I was just a chain smoker, and I was able to cut that like that. So then that's already been 3 years now. So now is the person that has grown from all of that. And it's just, I want to show people that I know it could be hard right now. If you just put that effort for, even if it's 1%, you'll be such in a better place by tomorrow. It's just such an incredible thing. Just with putting that effort of just putting yourself first. You're the priority of the day. And my priority of the day is going to be finishing up my combat. Which one is this? Combat Patrol box of the Chaos Space Marines Emperor's Children. So, got them here.
Nice.
I have more, but then I broke 4 before I got on camera. So, my life as a...
They just broke.
I always say, like I don't even know how my Night Haunt army has survived going to the game store like every week, because I call myself Hurricane Tanya. Like, I end up dropping my minis on the floor, like they get stepped on, and like I have no idea. Like, you look at these Night Haunt and like they like boingy around on their bases and stuff, and like I don't know, they're tougher than they look, these guys. I don't know. But like the chunky stuff that I play, it doesn't survive. Like my orcs, they just like they fall once and they're just like.
Aren't they also resin though?
They are. They're 3D printed.
Yeah, resin's like a little different than I guess plastic in that sense. Plastic tends to be more forgiving.
Boingy.
Yeah, boingy, absolutely. Oh, that's really funny. My Dark Eldar are all busted and broken because I travel with them and they have like no spikes anymore. They're the most tame Dark Eldar you've ever seen.
My guardsmen don't have any bayonets anymore.
I don't make them with bayonets. I like try and actively keep things like that off miniatures because I know they will break.
Right, but there's only so many non-bayonet lasguns in the kit. You have to put some on.
That is very true.
Awesome. Now I'm just taking to just cutting them off.
Nice. Well, there you go. Well, Nikki, thanks all for coming on and showing off. I know showing off like what you've been doing on and working. We'll of course put a link to like your Instagram in the description or in the comments, so make sure you check that out, everybody, and go say hello, because you do a lot of stories too. I think your stories are really funny. Like when you do like you're like you keep up to date with those and the reels, not the stories, the reels, and they're really hilarious. Let's go to chat. Leah says, "Hi everyone." Kurtik says, "Hey everyone, just sitting down to work on my new Archon, Succubus, and Dracon that I'm going to convert from the Underworld vampires. I catch the stream coming up. Great timing." Awesome, Kurtix. Thank you for coming to hang out. Yeah, I that's the one thing about like vampires. Every vampire they've released for Age of Sigmar, we've looked at and gone, Archon or Succubus. Like, you can make it into any Dark Eldar that you want. It's really funny. Shadow Sun says, "Sad face, the bayonets should be used for stabbing."
Well, what happens is they end up stabbing the foam tray that they're in and then breaking off.
Agreed. Yeah, especially when you put like a stack of foam trays one over another, and the bayonets like stab into like the top tray, and then you lift up the top tray and you don't see that there's all these like models like hanging up underneath, and you put that tray down and like you break a model because you put the tray down and it like snaps or something. Anyway, that's happened to me a few times. I'm gonna go grab something. I'll be right back.
Okay.
But the struggle is real.
Yeah. So you were making a combat patrol?
Yeah, I got the Combat Patrol Chaos Space Marines, so I'm like making them into the Emperor's Children. And like I'm obsessed with like the pink, purple, black, gold look. So I love it. I love switching it up like that.
You're obsessed with pink?
No way. What gave it away?
So are you planning on
Wait,
Captain Obvious over there?
Right? Am I right?
Yes. So are you painting these up to play Kill Team? Was it Kill Team that you were playing for a while?
Well, we're attempting to play Warhammer 40K 9th edition and then Kill Team, but then I'm like, because first I had just the Demonettes and then I lost horribly, and I'm like, you know what, I need some Space Marines and Chaos, and I'll corporate, and then now I'm like, you know what, I need to finish all of them before I can even play anything, and then now I haven't played yet. I did have actually a coworker of mine, he was into 40K, and I'm like, hey, is there any way like you could come over to our house, like, and show us how to play this, because like we're struggling here. 5-hour games is not the way to go here.
Yeah.
And then so I came over and like I played my first, like I felt like it was like my first official like game of 40K, and I actually won. I was like, oh my god, I actually won, and like it got me like motivated. I'm like, oh, I gotta finish painting them so I can like show them off like on the like table. Like I don't know, they just come to life on the table, and I don't know, that's my thing. I love them.
Okay, like so. Dim sometimes messages me about rules questions, and it makes me think maybe you guys are a little bit competitive with each other.
Oh, it gets ugly.
We get the knives out. We stab each other.
If you're watching, I'm sorry. You put up with me, but you know, I'm such an ass.
So my husband and I sometimes play together as well, but we get like salty sometimes with one another, and I'm the competitive one in the relationship, and I think he just gets like sick and tired of my shit sometimes. Are you the competitive one in your relationship, or is it sort of like you both are?
I think I'm more than he is. Like I'll get really emotional about it. Like I'll take the L to the end, you know, like I'll fight to death, you know, like, I'll cry. And you're like, I don't want to play with you anymore. You're crying. And I'm like, you know, I'm going to keep going.
I'm crying, but I'm having fun.
It's my pride. I'm sorry. It's like, I'm Puerto Rican too. So I think that craziness cooks in.
Yeah, I will admit. So when I first started playing 7th edition, I couldn't win. Like it was impossible for me to get a win. And like my husband had been playing for like 20 years or something before I even heard about Warhammer. So he used to just like, okay, so first off, he let me win the first games that we played, and then I found out and I was pissed off. I was like, you let me win, blah blah blah. And so for the first few years, I was like, every time we'd play, I'd be like, did you let me win? Did you let me win? You better not have let me win. And but yeah, I couldn't get a win for like 20 games or something like that. I was like getting so emotional and like so upset. I'm like, you're just gonna beat me at all the games that we played. Where? But I think now we're probably like 50-50 for our win rates against each other. So like what more could you ask for in a regular sparring partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least we actually like play the games, like we try, like, you know, it's not like, ew, what are you doing? Get out of here with this. This is like not for me. But no, we actually like enjoy it together. So yeah, like, I could be painting and he could be playing like a video game, but you know, we don't really bother each other. It's like, you know, in a way we respect each other's hobby space, you know, and time.
Oh man, his hobby space is like a mess. Like I'm like looking at it. It's actually not as bad as it normally is right now, but then mine is like pristine, super organized. Better not come into this space.
I have the one hobby space, and I get to keep it as messy or as clean as I want.
Oh, he gets to keep his as messy or clean as he wants. You just can't come over into this space.
You got a special key card to go into the lab.
God, I wish. It's just got like these glass doors, like.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Is that hobby goals for us? Is that right? Hobby goals. That's really fun. Now you just survived a hurricane, or in Florida. You're in Florida, so you just had a tropical storm go through. How is it living in a place where nature's trying to kill you all the time?
It's interesting because it's more like, hey, you want the pleasures of like the nice weather, like, and all that stuff, but we're gonna give you the crazy randomness of like potential flooding, hurricanes, and tornadoes. Like, I know when, because I'm more on the east side of Florida.
Yeah.
I didn't get affected by Ian, but we did have like, you know, storms and stuff like that. But my area had tornadoes, and like it was very like 10 minutes away from my house, the tornado hit. And I'm like, oh my God, that's like too close to Clifford. Like, this is like Wizard of Oz. Oh my God. Like, I started freaking out. Like, my phone started blowing up with these like alerts. And I'm like, I'm cooking dinner right now. Can this hold on? Like, what's going on? And it just doesn't hit. But I feel so bad for everyone on the west side, like on Fort Myers. Like, they got destroyed. So many homes, so many people, like they're left without nothing because they weren't prepared. They weren't expecting like I think it was like over like 6 feet of water. Like it was like a good height. So like people were stuck in their homes. Like it's scary stuff. Like it's just sometimes we're like, oh, it's just a hurricane. Like our mentality, it's just a hurricane. It's just a hurricane. Like, but then when it's coming, it's like, oh wait, we got to actually go to the store and get our supplies, and we're very last minute thing. I think it's the Latin thing in us. We're very last.
It hasn't killed us yet. Yeah. We had in here in Ontario, where in Barrie we have been hit by a couple of tornadoes, or every once in a while there'll be one that touches down somewhere close. So I can relate to that aspect. And then Mexico, there was always, when I was growing up, there was always the threat of the big volcano exploding, which that's scary. Having an active volcano near your house, being like, so which way does the lava go if the volcano goes?
And then where I live, it's like forest fires are the thing for us. So, yeah.
It's crazy, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway, but we're still here, and you can't really do anything about that nature thing. Just try and be safe when you can. Now, in terms of lore and whatnot, are Chaos Space Marines and like, you know, Chaos like your faction that you really enjoy, you gravitate towards?
I don't know. I think it's just like a whole evil thing. Like it's just like
you should play Dark Eldar.
And it's just. The thing is, like, I literally bought like the whole army, and I'm like, you know what? I'm so focused in this, and like, I sold it to my boyfriend, so he's making payments on a whole Drukhari army because I had them all in boxes. They're not even open. Some of them are built, but I'm like, you know what, babe? I'll sell them to you if you really want them, because he really wanted them, and I'm like, they're right here, you know, good sale. But I really want to focus on like building my army. I have a whole like starter, like the start collecting Demons of Slanesh box to build, and I really don't want to because of the chariot, but I really need the chariot in my army. Like I need it so I can like really demolish him.
Nice.
Like I don't know, it's just the competitiveness in me. It just kicks in, you know, for chaos.
I actually gave my husband my Slanesh demons, because he is like the chaos man in our house. So I gave him my Slanesh demons, and I thought he was going to repaint them, but now he's like, no, I really like your scheme. Can you paint the rest of them for me? And I'm like, maybe slowly. So like, he wants me to paint this keeper, so I did the skin, and I didn't even reprime it because he started painting it. So I'm gonna slowly work on this, but
I love that dark color.
Oh, the dark purple?
Yeah, I don't know. I like that hue. Is that green?
This?
Like a dark green? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to end up being like fluorescent green.
I love it. I love it all. Like, I can't wait to see it.
And then it'll have kind of like rose gold, like lots of rose gold accessories and stuff on it. So yeah, so I don't know. I got roped into painting somebody else's army, I guess.
Nice. Hey, Agents of Vex says, hi, Skari, hi, chat. Let's put paint on it. That's right. It's really fun. Just put paint on it. So anybody who's watching who doesn't understand what just put paint on it stands for, literally stands for what it says, which is, when you don't know what to do, you can just put paint on it. It's a very simple philosophy. And it's funny because I've actually had people quote tag me on random Reddit threads to be like, hey, I don't know how to paint this or whatever. I'm not sure what I'm doing. And they'd be like Skari says, just put paint on it. I'm like, yes, yes, it's a thing. It only took 4 years for folks to understand what it means, and that's the thing about it. So grab something, put some paint on it. If you're not exactly sure what to do with something, you can just put paint on it. It tends to help out with that. Anyway, that was my tangent. And hello, Stacks. Just dropped in to drop a like. Hope everybody has a great day. A reminder that it's Remembrance Day. It is Remembrance Day. Lest we forget, I got my poppy upstairs, actually. I should probably put a poppy somewhere on the stream here. There's a little picture. But yes, it is definitely Remembrance Day. Honoring our veterans and heroes that protect freedom. Oh man, my throat is loving me today. I sound like I am very tired.
Almost like you just woke up?
Yes, and I have not almost just woke up. It's been half an hour already.
Okay. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. I pride myself on being prepared and being ready and being awake on time when I need to be. So, I'm just gonna put paint on it over here while I wallow in my own inability.
You made it. You made it on time.
Is it sad that I just have lots of practice when I have 0 time? That's
no.
That should be. No, it just means that I have practice not waking up when I need to wake up. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? If I feel it's I don't get stressed enough. I just kind of button down and kind of just get the thing done that I need to get done. I'm like, I gotta get this done because I woke up late. But I have practice, so I know exactly how to focus my mind. Instead of oh my god, I'm late.
And then I'm the opposite. As soon as I get late for anything, my anxiety level increases and makes me useless. Everything shuts down. Yeah. I am definitely a scheduled kind of person. I'm a checklist kind of person. Would you call that type A? Is that type A? Or is type A the person who has to control other people?
That's the type A for sure. Yeah.
I don't care what other people do.
Just don't make me late.
Well, I mean, if somebody else makes me late, but I did my job, it doesn't actually give me anxiety. It's just when it's my fault that I'm oh no. Yeah.
That's interesting.
I
find that I'm conflicted, because I grew up in Mexico, so time is a relative term, and then I'm English, which is very much let's be punctual about stuff, usually, and so I have a conflict of interest. Half my body's man, well, it'll get done when it gets done, and then half of me is I need to get it done on time, at time, with time. You know what I mean? So, and that
I don't have any
cultural stereotype for the day.
I didn't know it was a Mexican thing to just not care about time.
No, we care about time. It's more Mexican time would be, starts at 6. Okay, so I show up at 6:30, 6:45.
So what's funny? So I used to live with a First Nations family, and they always talked about Indian time. And I know it's not politically correct to say Indian, but that's what they called it. And Yeah, you just had to always expect them to be at least 30 minutes late. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just easy. You just tell them to be there 30 minutes early, and then they'll be there on time.
Yeah, that's the whole Mexican time thing.
Yeah.
I guess it's definitely not like, you know, PC or whatever, but that's literally growing up. That's literally how it was.
I think it's good for people who are kind of like myself, who are a bit neurotic and uptight, to like spend time in other cultures that are less neurotic and less uptight. So actually living with that household, I mean, I say family, but I don't even know if anybody was blood related, to be honest. But it was a family nonetheless. But
They're like
yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy family, so they're family, but not family.
I don't understand the reference.
I guess they're like a group of people who's like a team, but they're like more like family than a team because they are really close.
Then yes.
Okay, awesome.
Just like that.
Okay, amazing.
But yeah, it was it was really good for me to spend time with them and get to know them, and I think that they really taught me to relax a little bit more than I was before. So that's good.
Now, yeah, talking about like relaxing and stuff like that. Is the hobby what you do to relax mainly, Nikki? Do you have like other hobbies that you use for like relaxing and spending time doing things that you want to do?
Yeah, pretty much. Like the hobby is like the getaway from like my fitness, like relaxation, like in a sense. So I'll focus on like, oh, I gotta make sure I do these things for my fitness thing. But then, okay, once I finish those things, then I get to do all the hobby things that I want. Because eventually, actually, Dim and I were talking, and we're like, oh, we really want to start making more content, but we just have to do it. Like, like the whole, we want to, but you do it. Like, that's the whole action that you have to do in life type of thing. It's like, do you really want it? Okay, well, let's do it. Like, so today I actually had the day off so I could focus on my hobby things because I just, can't say no to you guys. And yeah, so on my full-time job, I have it off, so I'm here, relaxation, doing my thing with my hobby. Probably after this, I'll probably go and work out just so I can get my 5th day of the week. Because I like to at least work out 5 days in the week. So at least in the weekends, I'm free. Like, I don't have to stress about it. Like, I don't have to really worry about it. But if I miss one day in the week, I'm going to regret it in the weekend, Like,
Yeah.
Torture yourself if you didn't put it through with the good things.
I'm not able to work out anymore just because my body is falling apart. But I walk a lot now, and like getting out and and walking so much, sometimes my app is like, hey, you're doing so much stuff, because like I've got a fitness app that tracks it for me. It's like, hey, you're doing too much stuff, you should consider taking a day off. And I just wish that I could like tell the app, if I take a day off, I won't be able to walk. Please shut up.
I'm doing this for me. Jason Millett says, yo, love the chill stream while at the office. Nice. Instead of working, we should all just put paint on it. Notice the viewer count is a little low, so thoughts on shirtless Skari to boost those numbers? You guess, Rock. No.
No?
Well, if I made enough money from memberships, then maybe. That's how that works. There has to be a
You'd like set a goal.
Quid pro quo. There you go. You give me money, I take my shirt off. That's how that works. Other than that, thanks for coming to hang out. I'm glad you're enjoying this chill stream at work. I'm really having fun painting this big building. So I did the Drazar thing. I basically just put him on a base and then grabbed sand from a different base and then just glued the already painted sand on that base to make it look like he's based, just to have it ready to rock and roll for this weekend. So
you said base a lot of times.
Did I really?
Sentence.
Like 4 or 5 times?
I got lost a little bit too. I was like,
is it base?
Is it base?
And then is it base?
This is the kind of thing I have to put up with when I do a show. I'm not allowed to talk like I talk. I have to be very measured.
No, you're allowed to.
With the amount of times I can say certain words.
You're talking like a Warhammer rule.
On the other thing, I had Wizards of the Coast send me one of these secret lair boxes for Warhammer, which is exciting. And it has the orcs and the Blood Bowl themed cards and stuffs in there. And yeah, so I know. John flipped out. He was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "Yes."
Oh yeah, because he plays Magic.
He plays Magic. He's like, "I have the Bob Ross secret lair, and it's amazing." And I was like, "Bob Ross?" He's like, "Yeah, they made a whole bunch of lands, and they commissioned like for Bob Ross art to be on those lands."
Amazing.
And I was like, "That's cool." He's like, "Yeah, it's
that's cool.
I still have it sealed and in box or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, that's neat." He's like, "Yeah, secret lairs are like a big deal." I was like, "Really? Oh, cool." So
so you're kind of a big deal, is what I'm hearing.
Well, Wizard sent it to me for free. Thank you to check it out and to tell people about it and stuff. Apparently, you can order them.
Kind of a big deal.
I was actually quite surprised with because it wasn't like the normal people that I deal with at Games Workshop. It was like this other party that works directly with Wizards of the Coast. So that was neat. Then again, I don't really play a lot of Magic. I play, and I have to play one of these Commander games. I still have my deck. I haven't opened my deck. I gave one to John, the Necron one, because of course. And
of course.
Yeah, he needs that. He needs that deck. And I've got the Chaos one. Is that the Chaos one? I think it's the Chaos one.
So you want to know something really cool?
Yeah.
So when I was playing roller derby, one of my absolute favorite skaters from the team in the next town over, she used to come and practice with us sometimes, and I really got to know her quite well. And I was talking to her about Warhammer, and she's like, "Oh, my brother works for Games Workshop." I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, he lives over in Nottingham. He works for Games Workshop." I was like, "What the heck?" And he's actually the guy that's responsible for managing the licensing.
Oh, nice.
Of all the IP and stuff. So
that's
maybe
a
you
cool
dealt
job to
with
have.
his team. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how big the Games Workshop licensing has become over the last couple of years. The licensing is everywhere. Now because before they didn't really make any merch, they didn't really sell out the IP to people to do mugs or you know what I mean? It just wasn't something that they did. And I remember that being a topic of conversation at our local game store a lot, being like, "Man, if they only built a bust of a Space Marine, and sold a little toy of a Space Marine, we would totally buy that stuff." You know what I mean?
And now
they literally do that all the time. They've done everything from the Funko Pops they did all the way to everything else that they've been doing with it. I think
Speaking
that's
of
really neat.
Space Marine busts, we have a little board game. I think it's called Conquest, something like that. And all of the play pieces are different busts of different factions in the game. Yeah. And I was like, I should paint those. I've never painted a bust before, but those would be kind of fun, I think.
Did you?
I didn't, because I'm so far behind on all my armies and stuff. But someday I will.
Nice.
At least one.
Nikki, do you play any other 40K style games, PC games Dawn of War or Space Marine, or do you play any other board games?
I don't play any video games or anything like that. I used to be a huge gamer back in the days, but then I'm like, that's a lot of wasted time, and I stopped. I just completely cut it out because I'm like, I can't sit there knowing I could be working on myself or making money or being alive in the real world. You know what I'm saying? No disregard. No, hey, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But when you really realize hey, all this time went by and all I did was level up this digital thing instead of myself. I don't know. You got to really take a look at yourself at life. You can stop fun 1 or 2 hours, but I don't know. I don't want to get invested. I have every PlayStation since 1 to 4 right now. And it's just collecting dust. I'm like, oh wow. When I was little, I was like, oh, all the time video game. But guess what? I don't want to do that. I grew up, so now I'm doing other things that I wanted to do as a kid. Because I always knew about something of like Warhammer growing up, but I didn't grow up with brothers. Like no one I knew. So like I couldn't get my foot through the door because I didn't know where that door was. You know. So like now, like as an adult, and then my boyfriend showing me like because he was just paying it, and it's just the curiosity just built, and like I'm obsessed.
Yeah. I also used to play a lot of video games, and then I read actually a self-help book, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Probably should put those video games down for a while. Probably should, go outside and touch some grass and yeah, like read more books, do more creative stuff. I gave up TV as well, so I don't watch TV. I don't really watch movies. Although I did, so I put stuff on in the background now while I'm brainstorming. So, like last night, I put on one of my absolute favorite TV shows from childhood and just like brainstormed because I don't have to actually follow the plot because I've seen it so many times. Yeah. But other than that, I don't really watch like new stuff because I just have other things to do. I don't miss any of it really.
TV is definitely like my go-to. I love watching like all the new Star Wars and Marvel and like keeping up with all the House of Dragons and all this stuff. That's like that's my thing. I like it. And then as for video games, like I have a Steam account. I have a ton of games, and there's a bunch of them. I'm like, ooh, maybe I should download and play this one. And then I'm like, but if I do, tonight is just going to disappear into the ether, and I just won't have an evening. And I will wake up tomorrow morning being like, where the hell did all my time go? So I usually sometimes I'll like reinstall something, play it for like a day or two, and then be like, okay, and then I uninstall it because I'm like, I got my fix. Now I need to move on to something else. You know what I mean? Because it's one of the reasons I never got into World of Warcraft, because that game will suck you dry. Anyway. Darren
Civilization
Walker.
For me. I'm not allowed to have it in the house.
Civ, yeah, and I play, and John wants to play all the time. I'm like, John, every time we play for like 8 hours straight. Like, I can't do this. Watching you guys from a hotel, says Darren. Wish I was painting too. Well, you can be painting with us in your heart. And the same to everybody out there who's listening. Have a Death Guard scheme I had been using. Nice. Death Guard are really fun. I like Death Guard. I actually have a couple of Death Guard models. And I'm not sure if I should like give them away or paint them. What do you think?
I think you should save them for when you have like painter's block or you're not feeling motivated to paint, and then you should paint them because they're different.
It's definitely, I do, I live by that. Like when we started Just Put Paint on It 3 years ago during the pandemic, 2019? No, was it 2019? It was like, that's when it started, right? Like March of 2019, and then so March of 2019, that's like when we started the Just Put Paint on It movement. And
a movement.
It is. It's really like a philosophy. You know what I mean? Like we had all the time in the world. We were all stuck at home, and all we could do was paint miniatures or like hang out on chats like this and paint. And I went through the amount of models I had to paint really fast because we painted every day for like an hour and a half. Every single day we sat down and had a video call and we painted. And eventually I ran out of shit to paint. So I understand that. Which means I had to start painting things because I wanted to paint it, not because I needed to paint it for like a tournament. Because we didn't have tournaments for so long. And so I learned how, like, that's when I painted all the Blackstone Fortress things. And that's when I painted like the random chaosy dudes and like, you know,
that big board.
The table. I remember that. That was a fun one. I loved painting that big table. Market Corn says, "Happy Friday, all. Happy Friday, hey, Market Corn. Burn the Death Guard with fire. Paint world eaters." Why are you gatekeeping him, bro? He can paint whatever he wants. Just saying. Mr. Skulls for the Skull Throne. You know, after all, even Death Guard go and kill things in close combat and get skulls for coin too. So it's how it works.
I don't think that they actually collect skulls, though.
They don't, but like war and death and fighting, like and murder, that's corn for you. You know, it's angry death stuff. Demon Prince Azrael says, "It's great seeing you all. Thanks for inspiring me, Nicole. I love watching your progress on your Empress Children. Skari, one day I'll steal your soul for Slaanesh with my demons." Hey, that was 3 very conflicting sentences in one paragraph. Great to see you. Love what you do, Nicole. Keep on inspiring me with the Empress Children. Skari, your soul is mine. Excellent. Thank you. Also love that the title... The title of this episode is Just Put Paint on It. Apparently I forgot.
That is so dark, Eldar.
Thank you for pointing that out. Now I have to remember to edit that. Darren says,
"No, you should leave it."
No. Darren says, "It's got a sister scheme I love, but it's very complex. Death Guard is a breath of fresh air. No pun intended." Yeah, I'm sure Death Guard smells great. Death Guard collects skulls, put plague on them, and wreck house. I'm not jealous. Good. You shouldn't be jealous. That's, who's the most jealous of the Chaos Gods, do you think? Would it be Slaanesh? Jealous? Yeah, would Slaanesh be the most jealous of the Chaos God? Would it be Tzeentch? You know, like, the god that would get envious the most, you know? Like, who do you think it would be?
I don't think Slaanesh would be the most envious, but I think Slaanesh has the most to prove, because it's like the little brother,
the baby
sister.
God?
Yeah.
Newest of the gods? Fair.
Yeah. So I think Slaanesh is a chip on their shoulder. That's what I think.
What do you think, Nikki?
I'm still thinking. Because I know, like, it wouldn't be Slaanesh.
Going deep dive into the lore here, everyone. And we're right, and what we say is canon.
No, it's just more like, because, like, it's so much, like, they have, like, I wouldn't think they'll be jealous because they have so much lust and stuff that they can, like, get anybody to do whatever they want. So jealousy probably wouldn't, unless the person's so, like, willed that they wouldn't be tempted, but not against Slaanesh, you know, like.
Yeah, I am going to agree with Raymond here that it totally is the Horned Rat, because I think that the Horned Rat always gets overlooked as a Chaos God. So...
Is the Horned Rat a Chaos God?
In Age of Sigmar it is.
Sorry, we're talking 40k only here. Actually...
You're such a dick.
No, you're right, actually. I had even forgotten that the Horned Rat was a Chaos God until you just mentioned it again.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. The real answer is, yep, absolutely. Good morning or afternoon. Hey, Kyle, it is definitely afternoon. It's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We don't know they aren't Skaven in 40k. Oh, there's technically Skaven in 40k. I'm 100% sure that there is a faction, at least of rat people. Back in the day, I believe they definitely had models and everything.
That would be amazing if they were space rats.
Yeah, just like the squats, they got moved aside. They've brought the squats back, so who knows? Maybe they'll bring back the rats
space
at some
rats.
point. You know? It is a giant universe. You know what I mean? Like, you've got Kroot. Were the Kroot supposed to be like the space rats? I don't know. They were definitely a little different. They're like the Beastmen, I think. The Kroot were more like the Beastmen.
They don't double up on the words that they say, so they can't be space rats.
That is true.
Yes.
Yes. Kill.
Stab.
Ratlings. No, the Ratling snipers don't count. Ratling snipers are like the cutest unit in the Astra Militarum book, but they're also the most pointless unit because they die so fast. And I love them, and I want to run them every time, and then they just die. And then I want to run them again, and then they just die again. It's like, it's so sad because I love them so much, but they just die so fast.
Are they even in the new codex?
I have no idea.
Oh. Okay.
I hope they are, because they do have a kit for them, right? So,
they do. It's ancient.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of kits. I think the newest one was that metal pure one they made, right?
Yeah, so it's ancient.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Oh, buddy, old pal. Darren says, have fun painting. Gotta run. No problem, Darren. Thanks for hanging out. Hey, Zambies, what's going on? Thanks for coming to hang out.
Hey,
Danny Blaze said,
Zambies.
I saw someone doing Gene Stealer Cult Skaven Kip actually. You know what? Gene Stealer Cult is very much like the Skaven. Like entire civilizations under the ground, and they like come out of the sewers and get you. Right? It's
Totally.
It's kind of how Skaven operate. Have you ever played Total War? I know we talked about RTSs, but any Total War fans over here?
I don't like RTS.
It's like a Civilization, though. Like it's the campaign's like Civilization. So it's very much. Anyway, the Skaven, basically the way that they play is they build empires underneath the cities of the like they take cities and stuff, but they basically can build networks underneath the cities of other civilizations. And if your Skaven army gets big enough, you can literally build like city destroying nuke bombs underneath other player cities, and you can literally like set them off and like level entire cities because you built a big bomb in their sewers and they didn't notice, and you're like, aha,
fun.
Bam. Yeah.
I know that you've played that game a lot. What is like your favorite faction to play?
Tomb Kings, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Even though they're very monotonous because they're old skeletons. But, like, it's Tomb Kings. Like, who doesn't like the old skellies? I love my skellies. Wow, with the cute mug, Spark, says Zambies. Oh, that is a cute mug.
I love my mugs.
It is getting to that time of year.
Mine's not cute, but it's got flowers on it.
Mine says pretty. Peace on it. Why? Because gives me peace to my soul when I drink tea or coffee. Because if not, I would be not at peace.
Give that out to the
universe,
viewers.
The Zen.
Yeah. Yes.
Zambies does say flowers are cute, so your mug is also cute.
Yeah, there's like little butterflies on it and stuff.
Gearguts Mech Shop says, a huge xenophobic empire bent on conquering and destroying all other sentient life forms. Hypocritical, power-hungry, backstabbing, treacherous leaders who do not care in the slightest about their subjects. Totalitarian, dystopian society with incredible overpopulation, hygiene problems. That's only half a step away from anarchy that's only held together by fear and social inertia. What? Oh, Skaven. Is that right? Is that the Skaven or the Imperium?
No, that sounds like the Imperium.
Oh, Imperium is the Skaven. Okay, that makes sense. In AOS, Skaven can burrow between the realms. Oh, that's really neat, actually. They can just.
That's how they messed up Nagash.
They can. They're always messing up Nagash. Okay, every time Nagash is like, "I'm gonna live forever," and Skaven are like, "Ha! Let's throw some shit into his potion." You know? Yeah. Let's just show shit in this potion. Hey, Northern Knights, thank you so much for the super chat. That means a lot. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much for hanging out. It says, afternoon, everyone. Glad you're back, Skari. Thanks. We definitely have to do our bat rep. I know, it's just it's probably not going to be for a little bit. I just got back. I went to Mexico for my grandmother's funeral. It was really nice to be with all the family, and that was really nice. So we did have to delay last week's Just Paint on It. That's been pushed. But this weekend, I'm going to Sudbury, Ontario. Actually, John the Cron's picking me up in about an hour, and we're driving up, and we have a team event. It's 2 days. It's going to be a great fun time. And then on Thursday of next week, I fly to New Mexico. Get excited. And I'm going to the Games Workshop Narrative Event Extravaganza, where they're having...
I hope that you get matched up with Red Powell.
I'm looking forward to it. So this is a massive, massive thing. There's like 20 battle groups. Each battle group is 10 players, right? Except for the Imperium battle groups, which I think the Imperium battle groups are like bigger. So there's 10 Imperium battle groups and 5 battle groups either for Xenos and Chaos or whatever. There's like, anyway, and I'm in the Xenos battle group, and one of them with I'm taking my Dark Eldar, an Archon Skari, and there's this big Corsair pirate that's kind of like got all these factions together to go mess up the Imperium. Oh man, they sent us like literal PDFs of like story and like the different planets we're going to be fighting on, and it's like really neat. So I'm totally getting into this. It's really fun.
Red is bringing his like fully converted Tanith first and only. So
nice. So he's in the Imperium side, or is he in the Chaos side? Imperium side.
Oh, he's in the Imperium
side. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him good. They're gonna be. I'm gonna take so many spoils back to the Dark City. Mwah, 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 mwah.
So everybody on the Forge the Narrative podcast plays some form of Imperial Guard, and we were like just talking about how we hate that horse character. Like the rules are so good, but like the character just doesn't fit into any of our armies at all.
I love that. The Lord. Have you seen the original Lord Macarius Solar? The little guy on foot with a big helmet.
Oh,
he's dressed all in gold, and he's got a little command stick or whatever.
Yeah.
So back in the day, he had a rule where if you had him in your army, you just went first.
Do you know what he does now?
No.
Okay, so now, if you have him in your army, after your opponent and you reveal your secondaries, he allows you to just pick new ones.
That's amazing. Oh, you're gonna take behind enemy lines, or you're gonna hide. Okay, I'm gonna change all mine to be really aggressive, so I can go at you. Or you're gonna come at me, I'm gonna keep really defensive ones, so I can just sit here and score points. That's really, really powerful. That's really, really strong.
Right. Okay. So we hate the model, and we're like, okay, but we have to have it.
But it's one of those models, because it's on a big base and it's got a scenario around it. You could literally convert him to be or her. Yeah. You literally do whatever you want. You could make a model just look really cool, right? And have
these are my guardsmen, right? They all have, I don't know if you can actually see, but they have a Skitari Vanguard helmets. So I was like, I think I'm gonna make mine out of the Cerberus Raider, right?
Nice.
The big horsey thing. I don't know. I was thinking maybe I could get the legs off of an Atalan Jackal or something, and then put a guardsman body on top, because they're about the same size.
Yep.
And then both well, Adam had the idea first. I don't know if he's actually going to do it, but Red is, because he plays Tanith first and only, he's like, I'm totally going to make that character on an Atalan Jackal. So he's going to build this
a little moped or whatever, or a quad. Amazing.
That's so not cool. The quad, the motorcycles.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so he's gonna make a big scenic base and stuff for it, and
see, but that's the cool thing. You put a character and go, look, it's a dude on a horse. Big, tall, like Nikki, do you have any models like that inspired you to convert something, or to have a really cool that just inspired you to paint them because they're man, I love how that model just looks.
For sure, when I first saw the Keeper of Secrets, I was like, wow, this model is something else. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to get that since I'm getting into the Slanesh, and because I first had my first box was Demonettes. So I'm like, okay, they're cool looking and all that stuff. But then when I saw that one, I was like, I'm gonna build up my painting skills, and I'm gonna go and attack that. So I'm aiming at, I want to have probably 1 or 2 more added to my army. So I'm like, oh, I can't wait, but I gotta wait. I gotta wait a little bit before I could get those. But they're so cool looking, and then you could change them up. And then I've seen so many people do their own conversions to those, and they make them look really, really cool. Yeah. So I don't know what I'll do, but I'm inspired.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Raymond asks, is list crunch still today? Yes, sorry. When I said an hour, I meant 2 hours. John's going to be here in an hour and 45 minutes. So yes, I'm going to basically finish the stream, running upstairs, making myself some toast so I can have breakfast or oatmeal. I'm going to eat something quick, and then I'm doing list crunch right away. And then we're going to do list crunch, and then I'll get it out of the way, and then I'm driving 3 hours north. So that's going to be exciting.
I keep meaning to make lists, Age of Sigmar lists for list crunch, and I just keep playing my same list that I've been playing for weeks.
That's the if you play the same list over and over, you just get better. It's just so good to play the same list. It might seem a little boring at times, but you just get so good. It's not boring. You just get so good with it if you play the same list.
Here's the thing. This list that I'm playing is literally based off what I own. I think I own 2 other units that are not in this list.
Yeah.
And there are some units in there that if you competitively looked at it, you'd be like, why are those even in this list? The unit is one of like the crappiest units in what is otherwise a very internally balanced book. But it's literally just because like they fit into like the 140 points or whatever that I had left, and I own them. So
yeah,
I don't know. I could submit the list that I've been playing, but it's not great. It's not bad. I'm doing okay with it.
That's good. But the whole point is if you're having fun with it. For anybody who doesn't know, List Crunch is one of the 2 patron bonus shows I do every week. I do a Monday analysis meta question video that I put up on Patreon for everybody, and then on Fridays, patrons that are Scourge, Trueborn, or Incubi can put a list up, and I'll just review it. I'll give my thoughts. I'll like break it down. I'll develop it, and we basically have this whole thing where I go through all the lists that are submitted, and I break them down and give you tips and tricks and all that good stuff. So it's a really fun show. I really enjoy it every week. Well, we are coming to the end of the show. Nikki, why don't you remind everybody? I know it's already 1 o'clock.
No way.
Yeah, I know. It flew by, right? Just goes by so fast. So, Nikki, why don't you tell us a little bit about, where folks can find you? Do you have any cool projects coming up that people should be looking out for? And what's next for you so folks can keep track and follow you on your Instagrams and all that stuff?
Alrighty. Well, I got so focused in painting, I completely just focused. And I was like, I'm
it's all good.
Such a time of my life right now. That's why I love coming on this show. Just do what you got to do. But you can find me on SparkhammerMinis. That's where you can see more of the hobby related stuff. But if you want more of that fitness, motivation, get your ass to it type of vibe, then you can go to nikki.inspires. And then if you want to see some of our YouTube stuff that we have, it's SparkMinis. So that's where you can find us, and we're actually trying to do some type of giveaway soon. We were working with the Mindworks Studios wet palette, so we're actually reviewing that product to see how it is and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be as honest as it is when it comes to my reviews. So if you really want to hear about those things and you're interested in those hobby stuff, then check me out on YouTube.
That's fantastic. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on, Nikki. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. And you're welcome on anytime. We're making these Just Put Paint on It series a lot more elite, like once a week. We have a limited number of guests, so thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. This has been awesome. Tanya, before we finish up, let us know, where Tanya Gates can be heard and listened to and followed.
Okay, well, I wax poetic on my Instagram stories, so if you ever just want to know, like, the crazy random stuff that's going through my brain, that's usually the best place to go. Mm-hmm. I sometimes do the tweets, but not often. And you can find me on Forge the Narrative Podcast. New episodes out every Saturday, where it's basically just, like, 3 sassy assholes and Paul Murphy. So if you like sass, it's probably a good place to go as well.
And Paul Murphy, / Paul Murphy.
Yeah, Paul Murphy is like the least. Well, I mean, in the green room he's pretty sassy, but like when he's on,
professional when it comes when the
professional.
When the mics go on, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and then thanks to Nikki and Dim for suggesting it, but I've been doing some rules deep dives for Warhammer 40K on my YouTube channel. And those are really fun. I get a lot of really positive feedback on those. So if you don't enjoy deep reading rules yourself, well, you can hop on there and I do all that work for you.
Sounds like a great time. Of course, I'll be putting the links in the comments or the description, whichever one I get to first. I'm Skari. Thanks all for hanging out, everybody. We'll be back next Friday. No, not next Friday. The Friday after that with another Just Put Paint on It, so put that in your calendar. And for anybody who was wondering what happened to the Scourge that I smashed with a giant knife, please, he's okay, okay? The only thing that broke was, like, the little spear, okay? Everything else was fine. He just broke up into pieces. Didn't actually hurt him. So I can still paint him.
Because he's boingy.
He did. He was fine. He's made out of plastic. Literally just smashed. And he's fine. Okay? So anybody, that was sending me messages about how I'm the worst hobbyist in the world because I bust up my miniature. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't happen.
I was going to say, like, what? It's just your plastic toys.
Yeah.
What do you want?
It was a worthy sacrifice for something that made me giggle way too hard for way too long. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody, for hanging out. I've been Skari, your grateful host. Make sure you hang out with more awesome stuff And we'll be back on the next video. Thank you, chat, for coming to hang out. Thank you, Northern Knights Gaming, for the super chat. Make sure you check them out. They're a YouTube channel based out of Toronto, or Richmond Hill. So make sure you check them out as well. Other than that, everybody, don't forget to hashtag just put pain on it. Apparently today, because that's what I posted.
Pain
on it, like stab it, and like I did. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.
Ciao.